A very happy good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor, pleasure, and privilege to stand before you, such a distinguished gathering, and also the senior team from the, not only from the focus side, but also L&T leadership in a very large way. So let me greet Shivaji sir, Balakrishnan, and all the people from the Larsen & Toubro, and my own colleagues, Vice President Dr. Velan, and Chairman of the Western Zone, and Dr. Sandeep Shikre, and Karthikeyan, the Deputy Executive Director, both Dominic and Ravishankar Tandavan for leading the Focus One. And it's such a great pleasure that we all assembled at a time that the whole world is moving in a large way. We hear of a major forest fire taking place in Canada, and 300 kilometers away is New York City, and the New York City is completely come down to a grinding halt, no flights taking off. There's a yellow flames all around that particular one, and I understand the sea level also in Hudson River also rising to a large level. Like that, so many natural calamities are taking place as a part of the climate change agenda. The temperature rise is a very important component of all over. You find the heat wave effect in a big way, and that linked with that is the natural calamities coming, the effect of cyclones and floods and hurricanes. Taiwan had it about 1 week back, and another city is having it just yesterday in a large way, and many natural calamities start coming on. So there's a large number of issues are there, because the world itself is growing in a large way, and we all hit the 8 billion mark, or 800 crores of people the world over, the population is that. And India is now number one with 142 crores of population, just edging out China just recently. So between India, China, and the African countries, we are 140 crores each, or plus around that. If you see that, 140, 140, 140 is the combination from these three segments of group there. And India itself, from just around 32 crores in 1947, we are talking of independence and 75th year getting over, and Azadi Ki Amrit Varsh. And you'll be surprised, from 32 crores, we are about 142 crores. We added about 110 crores of people in the last 76 years time period. 100 crores in 2001 census, and 121 crores in 2011 census, added about 20 crores in the 10 years time, and now from there onwards we are about 142 crores. We are adding at the rate of 2 crores per year, and roughly that would mean 200 lakhs people per year divided by 5 or 4. You require of the order of new families coming, it will be of the order of 40 lakhs or 4 million to 5 million new families joining every year. Housing for all, hospital for all, schools for all, jobs for all the infrastructure required, enormous amount of requirements. The demographic growth is also an important thing, that it is not just population increasing, it's also shifting from urbanization in a large way. About 16% urbanization in the beginning of independence. Gandhiji said India lives in the villages. No more. We are about 40% urban. We'll be around 600 million or 60 crores of urban population in this by 2030. All of you should know that. And you have gone great city of Chennai. I do remember, I am a person from Chennai doing all my schooling, my PUC as well as colleges. A city of just less than about 25 to 30 lakhs population. Came down to around 75 lakhs, around 90 lakhs till about 10 years back. We are now around 1.1 crores. And if you take the Chennai metropolitan area, it's coming to 1.4 crores. That's the type of population growth that's coming over there. We are bursting. It's a demographic explosion taking place. With this, development also comes. Construction is the biggest contribution to that, not only for all the building construction for various uses I just told, all the infrastructure required, roads, water supply, sewerage, or flyovers, or bypass, or metro, or rail lines, or various infrastructure that you require, the airports, the ports. You have been hearing the fantastic growth in the airport sector. The Civil Aviation Minister talked about that. So also is happening in the road sector in a very, very big way. And our most important is Larsen & Toubro has been connected with all the most important projects that we hear of, and we have very happy sense of pride. I am reminded of when I graduated in 1965, around 58 years back. My first interest was to join the L&T. Gaitonde sir was the person here. then of course Ramakrishnan sir, then so many people, AR, so many of the people with whom we have got associated, and I'm very happy L&T is associated with this program here. But most importantly, what I wanted to tell is when so much amount of development is taking place, you got to utilize all the resources rightly. Water as a resource, energy as a resource, land as a resource, building materials and technology as a resource. Each one of them got to be effectively, efficiently, economically is what requires to be done. So when we talk in terms of all these net zero items and also the climate change agenda, large contexts are there identified. All the countries have joined together, and in 2015 they came down to the Sustainable Development Goal to the year 2030. You're all aware of SDG 2030, and I'm very happy that the National Building Code of India brought out the 2016 version. The chapter on sustainability has been included for the first time anywhere in the world, even though many codes we do utilize, because I was associated with the first version of 70, second version 83, third version of 2005, and next last version of 2016, and I'm very happy now I'm the chairman of the National Building Code. We are working on the 2025 version. And sustainability, approach sustainability as a chapter in the National Building Code really gave new dimension. It is no more the safeties of structural safety, health safety, fire safety, public safety, environment safety alone, but you have to talk of all the environmental issues. You require integrated water management, energy management, waste management, as well as green footprint to be enhanced, as well as most importantly, all of them will come down to the carbon footprint reduction in a large way of, as rightly told by Balakrishnan sir, you got to deal with the net zero energy, net zero water, net zero waste, and net zero carbon. I'm sure my good friend Karthikeyan will be able to give a fantastic presentation to give all the integrated approaches which is required on that. And when all the countries met over there by 2030, what we need to achieve by Sustainable Development Goal, about 17 odd goals, many goals are already covered by the work that we are all doing in the country. You'll be very happy to know 11 goals out of that is looked after by the construction sector. Building construction as well as infrastructure construction in a very large way. And the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2030 and the Paris Agreement of COP21 really talked about what changes we can bring for the take care of climate change. Then the new dimension of climate change came in a very large way. The world woke up. The type of melting that's happening in the Arctic and Antarctic region, the ozone layer bursting over there, the greenhouse gas emission which is coming as a result of activity from just 100 crores or 200 crores coming down to 800 crores of people in the planet over there, as rightly told by Ravi. How does it affect the people in a large way when you have all this activity of human activity taking place over there that brings the heating of the whole thing? And one of the most important things that we try to introduce is how to take care of that. And our own Prime Minister has given a big leadership in 2021-22, last time in COP26, he gave the biggest lead that the climate change agenda will be very important. India will be a leader for that. We will achieve the net zero carbon emission by 2070. Why 2070? Other people are talking about 2050. I'll come on to that a little later. And that is the most realistic benchmark that he has put. But he said that at least the short term, by 2030, at least more than 50% of all your energy requirements will be from not through fossil fuels of either coal or oil or various other things, but will be through renewable energy, and 500 gigawatt of energy is what is expected to be generated, and we are already on track. I'll talk of that in a minute from now. And I'm very happy that all these are being done with the focus background there as an institution. It's a young body of 3 years old, which has come up very well in a very short time. It has really caught the imagination of everybody, because you have the Institute of Architects, Institute of Town Planners, Institute of Engineers, each one talking in a silo-like manner what is their own particular sector. But you're talking built environment as a sector wherein you are not only architect, you're civil engineer, structural engineer, but all the mechanical, electrical, plumbing, firefighting, services including vertical transportation, mobility, safety, security, all coming. And I'm very happy I got the good word from Bala today, and you got a lot of MEP people are sitting over there. So it is not MEP alone, it's MEPF. It is not MEPF alone, MEPF-C, MEPF CS all together. Now his integrated team is now coming from large number of companies to deal with that particular. And he gave a new definition that MEP, don't put them in a corner over there. They are the most efficient person. I like that word, MEP, a new definition. I want to add something more. Most enduring person, most enterprising person. Why leave that efficiency alone? So MEP has got a good, what can I say, a new brand coming on that. The most important thing is coordination, integration of the inputs coming from the architect's beautiful spatial design, the structural engineers giving the skeletons to the whole thing, the whole structure of the whole thing, and all the, and I tell, and if you don't have all the MEP of people, the building can't function. Can be the most beautiful building to look at, can be the most strongest building to have earthquake, but if you don't have any other service, no light, no water, no sanitation, no lifts, no cooling, whatever, the whole building can't be no functional at all. So you are also a very, very important area of work, and I'm very happy you're all working in that sector. It is in that context that the agency which I had the pleasure of being the chairing that over the last 3.5 years time, IGBC is 21 years old, and it has done fantastic job for the green building movement, which is all talks in terms of sustainability in a large way. And we are very happy that we are number 2 in the world with over 10 billion square feet of green footprint, 10.27, or that means about 1,027 crore square feet. You can understand, billion may not immediately make an impact. When you say 10.27 billion square feet, you have got 1,027 crore square feet of green building footprint for all asset class of building, whether residential or commercial or schools or hospitals or factories or interiors or retail or malls or factory buildings. All the building classes of all, including warehousing and logistics, particular projects all come under that. And we didn't stop at building alone. We've gone from building, we are the only one, even though US Green Building Council was there, BREEAM was there, other rating are there, we went from building to built environment. That means covering the whole area of building and the infrastructure in a very large way to cover all the segments that you require to deal with that. And that's where we are the first one to come with a rating system for not only at the campus level, township level, plus also the city rating for the greenfield projects, which are entirely new cities coming up, township coming, as well as brownfield projects that are existing cities, because when Government of India launched this big program, 100 smart cities and 500 Amrut cities, which are over 1 lakh population, to be better water, better sanitation, better energy, better environment there, we are in a very large way supporting all these particular things. So we brought out the rating for the brownfield project, all the existing cities, how do you make better water, better sanitation, better roads, better energy management. So that's what we can do when you have brownfield projects or existing cities. How do you upgrade that? So we are very happy that we have been associated with this particular program, and needless to say, we are the first one to launch the IGBC mission for net zero. On the World Earth Day in 2021, we launched the mission for net zero in a big way with participation of around 1,000 odd people, around 300 people or 300 organizations already signed this particular thing of IGBC net zero mission to be achieved by 2050 on energy, water, waste and carbon. And this is a very important movement that we started. We didn't stop there, but that is also backed up with exclusive rating for net zero energy, net zero water, net zero waste, and a framework document. And I'm very happy the author for the net zero carbon, Sandeep Shikre, chairman, is already sitting there, besides being also our Western chapter head of that. So I'm sure when Sandeep talks, and he's going to moderate your session immediately after the inaugural session. The whole idea is that you're able to make this particular program, and take my word, the world is all watching the way in which we are going forward in a large way as a global program to achieve this or advancing towards net zero. It's not easy, and there's a whole life cycle is coming over there, not only from concept level, construction level, completion level, occupation level for a long period, life cycle of the building over there, or what I call the cradle to grave approach or womb to tomb approach, where you're talking of all the building development, infrastructure development in its whole life scale of can be around 50 years, 70 years, 100 years time period. How do you deal with that is a way, it's not easy. And NBC part 11 brings out the costing of not only capital costs plus also the operating costs for the life of the building and performance of the building being watched in a very large way. And I'm very happy that has all caught the imagination of everybody. And I can't it can't succeed. As Ravi said, you require the involvement of everybody, the policy makers, corporates, academia, builders, developers, construction entities, and all the technology providers dealing in this particular area. And most importantly, the use of the input materials. All the building blocks are very, very important. Whether your 250 building materials are going into construction sector, obviously cement or steel or glass or aluminium or timber, etc., sanitary fitting, electrical fitting. And we got to also see that those particular products are also eco-label and they're efficient. And they're also having, it is not, to make a green building or a green built environment, you require green products to go into that. That's an important one for a backward-forward linkage in a very large way. And therefore, we got into the particular rating tools done in a very big way, and I'm very happy to tell that we are already 100-odd projects now in different parts of the country dealing exclusively net zero. Effectively, it says that you won't use the grid energy, you will be able to give back. Our own office in corporate office of the Green Business Center in Hyderabad, from where Karthikeyan comes, I'm sure he will be talking about that. We are not only have all the energy efficiency factors through passive designs, which architects and engineers do it, plus also all the applications that you have, whether air conditioning application, lift installation, 100 things for which electrical energy is needed. How do you bring efficiency in a large way? And more importantly, renewable energy also to be brought in there. They're giving back energy to the grid. Maybe Shivaji sir, you should know that the IGBC campus building over there, it gives energy back to the grid every day. And those are the type of things. Net zero water, you'll have an excellent example which Velan will be sharing with all of you, how not only taking care of every drop of water being utilized there through rainwater, not only the efficient utilization of the water, rainwater harvesting, aquifer recharging, wastewater recycling, reuse of water in a large way, and with zero liquid discharge component, every drop being used. I'm sure you'll be able to get a good story on water. And I wish from Godrej side, Anup Matthew was here on, he was talking net zero waste, where every waste is converted waste to wealth, refuse to resource, or trash to cash is the way in way, or trash to treasure, whatever word you want to use, have been using that. So it is at this point of time, the guiding framework document came from Sandeep Shikre's leadership on net zero carbon principles. Not easy, because when you really want as net zero carbon, decarbonizing, ladies and gentlemen, you should understand, it is not just the building, the operational energy that's important on that. You have to also deal with all the other input materials that goes over there. Energy components of a very large nature will come over there, including what will happen in the transportation sector. Even if you do everything, generation sector is not our job. It's the job of the electrical department. Are you going to do it with the coal and oil to make the electricity to come over there? You have to decarbonize, you have to do that work. That's where 50% of 550 gigawatt of energy through solar was announced by the Prime Minister. And mind you, about 2 years back, we are already achieving that. So all of the people also have to fall in tune if you have to really achieve the net zero carbon effect. All the building materials and common, I'll touch on that towards the end of the particular thing, whether steel or cement or glass or aluminum, they're all enormous guzzlers of energy. So in the production of the building materials, the energy is coming over there. How do you deal with that? So that's where very wisely they brought the guiding framework document. But I'm very happy to indicate that very shortly we'll be bringing out a new rating system for net zero carbon alone. Besides the energy, water, and waste, you'll also have a document coming very, very shortly on that. I'm sure Karthikeyan will be able to share more of those details in a very large way. And embodied carbon is what the carbon in the building materials which are there. Operational carbon is which you are actually using it as energy use in a large way, which will also have CO2 emissions coming. And the last end of the line carbon. So 3 carbons are involved: embodied carbon, operational carbon, as well as the end-of-life carbon. And I'm very happy that net zero carbon building will be able to offset all these particular things, provided you do it properly in the design, architectural design, structural design, in the use of that particular material, procurement policies, green procurement policies, construction, operation there, least amount of wastage coming there, retrofits there, and end of the life to be operated in a big way. There are 3 major things when you talk of net zero carbon with respect to the inventory on greenhouse gas emission. They are scope 1, scope 2, and scope 3. Scope 1 is the direct emissions from burning of coal and DG sets and all, which keeps on coughing out. Every building will have a DG set. They are all bringing the emission into there. We put the chimney on top, our problem is over. You put it above, but where will it go? It will finally hit the environment only. Scope 2 is the indirect emission from the use of electricity. That will happen in your air conditioners, your refrigerators, your washing machines, your whatever, all your equipments, your lighting levels, power requirements, etc. And the scope 3 is the one where other indirect emissions will come from, not controlled by the operation, like for example, supply chain mechanism, your employee commutation, all your buses and trains and all that, ports, how do they reach from the work area to living area? Mobility component will come there. So all have to put their act together to deal with that. So the inventory of the greenhouse gas emission is carried out based on the scope and prior to building and the life cycle analysis or the LCA. Now it's coming increasingly. Everybody wants to know what is the LCA impact. Not enough the building is completed. And that's why I'm very happy to indicate that all this time we are happy a building is completed and we get a completion certificate, give an occupancy certificate. Architect gone, engineer gone, builder gone, everybody gone. You'll have to take care of it. What will happen to the building 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years down the line. So the most important performance of the building becomes a very important component. And that's where the operational energy will be coming in a big way. That's where LCA will come into the picture. So we would like the total impact of not only the capital cost, but also the operational cost there. And that's where, again, NBC scored, again, all over the world, the Part 12 was added in the National Building Code called Assets and Facility Management. And I'm very happy that Velan Saab is now heading that particular one for the 2025 version on Part 12 on Assets and Facility Management. Keep the thing going on a 24/7 cycle to deal with the building. And I'm happy, that's very important. Performance of the building is very, very important. It's not design level, I can do whatever on paper. Construction also possible, but how does a building perform in terms of energy consumption, water consumption, the amount of pollution that will get into the land, air and water, because an important aspect on that. And that's where these aspects will be very happy, and we can do a lot. Scope 1 and 2, we can maximum energy efficiency through passive architecture. Architects do a fantastic job, including the design elements. I'm sure Sandeep can completely mesmerize you with the wonderful initiative as an architect they can do for energy efficiency in a large way, besides the envelope design or the solar orientation. We got 95% of the year blessed with the what you call from the solar energy, whereas standard overcast sky is there in other parts of the world. So we should use sun in a big way to get the light in but not the heat in. How do you do that particular thing is an important component. And also on-site renewable to be done for the renewable energy and maximizing water conservation, as I told you, efficient plumbing fixture system and reduction of the waste generation. The right time for me to take a minute to just tell so you get an idea that as on today, 2023 now, we are generating about 416 gigawatt of energy, and of which the fossil fuel energy is about 57%, nuclear power, hydropower all together. Renewable energy, we are still at about, we are good, we are just around 100, around 2-3 years back, we are 172 gigawatt of energy is now coming from the renewable. Wind energy, solar energy, small hydro, as well as the BW power and cogen, and as well as waste to energy. Large number of cities are doing the waste to energy project. But by 2030 is what we have achieved in, for the COPE we said, we would require for the increasing population by the time, maybe around it will be 160 crores by the time, and about around 900 gigawatt will be required. But very happy is that 500 gigawatt of that will come from the renewables. So very, very major change. Renewable will be around 57%, what was originally from the fossil fuel energies. That's a major shift that can come over there. And therefore, we will have to see how in the building materials over there, how much amount of energy reduction can come. It's not, you got to produce. If you don't want any energy, you have to use mud and bamboo and the other thatch with no energy being put in for produce. The nature has already done that process over there. So in that particular case, what you require is large number of cement companies, steel companies, glass companies, and all other people. They are all getting green cement manufacturing, green steel. The energy costs involved by all the cement companies in the production of cement and concrete have brought on technologies by which the energy consumption has been brought down at least about 40% level. I do find in the Green Core rating, large number of cement factories, paper, other industries. I'm sure Karthikeyan should touch a little in his 1 hour presentation coming a little later. Currently, embodied energy, steel takes about 2.89 kg per COTE, per kg, and cement about 0.94 kg of CO2e per kg, making steel and cement major. Of course, glass, aluminium is equally important. As I told, these are the larger industries which guzzle energy. So embodied energy, we are not touched it. We are done on the passive design, active design, on the operational energy, but on the embodied energy, we all have to do a lot of things. And I'm very happy that this is already attracting attention all over the Europe. They are doing it in the US, United States of America. You'll be very happy. The American Institute of Architects set up in 2017 a group to deal with 2030. What type of new changes? I'm sure Sandeep and everybody is doing. Also, American Society of Civil Engineers also have done what needs to be done. Therefore, for all the new products, how do you use more and more of material which will have consumption of cement less, but you get the component there. More and more amount of fly ash and other related application will come in a large way on green concrete, green product, green cement. You will get these words with a green tag attached to everything coming over there. They're all working towards this direction. Bureau of Indian Standard is also setting a guideline for low carbon cement. Work is already initiated. I'm working very closely with their team over there, and some of the leading cement companies have done amazingly well for large number of their products in this sector. So what it requires to be done at the end of the day, if you have to really achieve the larger goal that's coming, is to deal with the approach for all the three scopes to be done, and what needs to be done. So creating more carbon sink, it can go into it, or a carbon capture storage system like mass plantation, a fully grown tree. Anybody, the World Environment Day was there 3 or 4 days back, and everybody has decided to put so many additional trees to be planted. You know, you'll be surprised to know, I was there for about 28 days in Auckland, New Zealand. You got to see the amount of tree growth. They got 50% of the thing is all trees and green all over, meadows and all that. Singapore had about 37%, they're building about 47%. Today Singapore is called not a garden and city, it is called a city within a garden. City within a garden. We are much less on this particular thing, to create more and more of green plantation, green cover to be brought, because they absorb so much amount of oxygen. A fully green tree can capture 20 kg of carbon dioxide per year. So that's the amount of capacity. If you grow more and more green landscape, even a heat island effect in green building rating would cover one, besides water bodies to be created, greening on not only horizontal green, vertical green, roof green, everything has got to be done. So that's going to be a big direction coming on there. Purchase a lot of carbon credits is also important. Green bonds is another major one. Energy saving certificate under PAT scheme is yet another area. And to facilitate all these particular things over there, as I told, the new rating system, Karthikeyan, I'm sure, will be giving some more input on that. The net zero carbon building, the pilot version, will be shortly coming for everybody's use. And therefore, in conclusion, what can I say is everybody's participation is very important. If you achieve about 10.5 billion square feet, our own idea is that can we achieve by the time 2047, India's 100 years there, can we achieve 50 billion square feet? That means you add about 2 billion square feet or 200 crores every year. It's doable, but for that everybody has to come. The builders, developers, architects, consultants, engineers, building material people. I'm very happy CREDAI and NAREDCO are already part of that. Many corporates already have declared. Many big industries by 2030 they'll achieve the net zero carbon. I'm sure L&T also will be having a policy on that. The other one is to achieve the 2030 to 2070. Why 2070? I said, tell towards the end. As I said, it's not easy. Most of the developed countries have put at 2050 that they will achieve net zero carbon by 2050. India is rightly, and our Prime Minister was the first one to talk about that. No, we can't achieve that, because it's not just a small little indication for a pure building or a little city to have the whole country for all its operation at the net zero carbon. I got to deal on the transportation one. I have to deal with the electricity generation side. That's why China has put it, I hope you know, there's 2060. Vietnam has put 2060, Saudi Arabia has put 2060, that's why we put as 2070. So you'll have an immediate term which will go up to 2025, a short term which will go up to 2030, a medium term which will go up to 2050, and a long term which will go to 2070. Yeah, a program of this nature in this wonderful pressings of Larsen & Toubro is to tell how each of you will have to contribute in that particular area. Net zero can be a near zero one, or decarbonization's full term we will not be entirely able to achieve. We are all working, maybe by the time in the next round, that's about 60 or none of us will be there. Even for 2030, some of us will be there, but I'm sure these young ones will be standing over the Soundarya and Akla, they'll be able to do in a very large way opportunity. Even if you are able to do the near carbon or near zero, is a very, very major achievement. Very major achievement, according to me. People are now talking about, I said 2017 they already started, about 6 years back. US, they already started to be. European group has come in a very large way. All the Scandinavian countries have put this agenda number one. Very major issue. And not recommendatory, mandatory. They are making it mandatory and forced, and without that no approval will come unless you use all these particular things for a building plan approval in a large way. And we are very happy that we got two major panel discussions coming there with architect Sandeep Shikre to lead the first one, and the next one going to be Balakrishnan in the post-lunch session, and a very important presentation of 1 hour of the whole policy issue. I just broadly gave the item. You will now get the nitty-gritties of that through Karthikeyan's master presentation. Karthikeyan, thank you very much. In spite of physical disability of feet, you still made it possible to be here with us. Just came by morning and going back by evening. Thank you very much for being there. And thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for giving me an opportunity to speak there. And more importantly, for the wonderful partnership that we are having with L&T to do this particular thing. Also to DRI, Pradeep Samuel and the team for the support that they are given. And various other people over there. And to both Dominic and Ravi for organizing this wonderful thing. And needless to say, the bridegroom over there is Balakrishnan. So it's your day, boss. You organized it all single-handedly. We are all there to support you. And once again, a very happy day for, I hope we are still 11:30 or what's the time now? Around that? 11:25, okay. Thank you very much. I'll close at this time.